Harry can't hear anybody.
Well, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let's pretend like. Let's wait till he gets it working and then we'll.
Yeah, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to say about him?
I came in and like everything was the maids just came in and destroyed everything. I had to put everything back together and now I can't hear anything.
We'll do it live.
We're gonna do it live.
Okay.
I could barely hear you.
Okay. You can hear us a little bit, not through your headphones.
It's definitely not through the headphones. It's not through the computer. I don't know what it's coming through.
Harry, did you forget to take your earplugs out this morning to stop you from waking yourself when you snore? You're fired, Jen. Jay, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Ready to hit the road again.
Are you not looking forward to it? I can't wait because my kids have been a lot.
No, I am looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to a 6:15 a.m. flight, but
with this guy.
No, I am looking forward to that. That's gonna be fun.
Oh man.
All right, I can hear you now. So these little lights on the outside.
Yeah.
If you touch any of those, it turns volumes and things, and it does a lot of shit. Like I'm too loud right now, I can tell, but I don't have time to sit here and jack with it because they come in and I don't even need, the place isn't even dirty. I haven't had a dog. I mean,
what happened to the dog?
I was gonna say Biscuit's looking a little slim.
Well, the podcast is really taking a toll on Biscuit, and so she's taking a sabbatical. And
Okay.
So now for the month of October, we have Spooky Biscuit, and Spooky Biscuit's going to fill in while Biscuit is in Austin taking the month off and living the life of Riley. Spooky Biscuit's going to just sit here and sleep like real Biscuit would normally do.
We'll call Spooky Biscuit Bicket.
Do you hear that? Somebody's at the door.
Is this Mr. Rogers?
Okay. The bit never gets old. Well, who do we have here? Is this Dan? Is this Dan from Dickey's?
Yes, this is.
How are you?
How you doing, man? It's good to see you again. It's been a while. It's been a couple of years, I think.
It has been too long. It has been much too long.
Well, it's good to see you. You're looking well.
Thank you. Yes, Coach treated me well. Packed on a couple extra pounds, but it's all good.
Hey, you're welcome to the club, buddy. This is I normally have my real dog here to co-host. I don't know if you've seen our podcast before. I don't know if you're one of the 5 people listen in, but my dog's taking a vacation. So Spooky Biscuit is filling in for the month of October until Halloween. And then Biscuit will return at that point in the co-host chair.
So it's really well behaved.
Yes, Spooky Biscuit contributes about as much as real Biscuit so far, which is nothing. All right, so Jen, why don't you introduce our guest and launch in?
Yeah, so hey, Dan, this is Dan Timm. I always have to remember Tim with 2 M's, right?
Correct.
Beverage director for Dickey's BBQ, right? How are you doing?
Doing really well. I'm happy to be here to talk with you guys today.
Good. So I think the last time we chatted, you were at our summit a few years back. You've been, doing beverage director programs for different concepts, like you were with Top Golf, I think, when we had you last. And now, as I understand, creating the beverage program for Dickey's BBQ from the ground up, right?
Correct.
So I'm super interested to hear how you're doing that, because as I understand, this is like a little less than 500 units, and they have all different kinds of footprints from, limited service to airport and that sort of thing. So you're doing everything from takeout program to full bar to limited bar. So tell me how you've gone about doing that.
Yeah, well, so let's see. So it's a very interesting undertaking, and it was very attractive to me because of this. On Halloween of this year, Dickey's Barbecue Pit is going to be celebrating its 80th anniversary. So they've been smoking meat for a long, long time. But it was only in summer of 2019 that the Dickey family started thinking, you know what, we're leaving a lot of money on the table by not addressing really going after beer and wine service at as many stores as possible, and also adding full bar service into as many stores as possible. So with that, there was a little bit of work that they did leading into my joining the company. So there was the original store that's here in Dallas at the corner of 75 and Knox Henderson. They put in a little bar, 6 stools. It's like the same kind of place that you'd see at any small town barbecue joint. You might see just 6 stools sitting at a bar, same kind of thing. They wanted to take a swing at it. They have had a lot of places that have served just some packaged beer, but not a lot. So in total, right now, there are over 550 physical locations of Dickey's across the country, also expanding into many different countries. It's crazy, but my focus is just here in the States. So going into it, I'm trying to develop a program that is for an 80-year-old brand with multiple locations in 48 of the 50 states. And 90% of them have never sold a beer before ever.
Wow.
So what we're doing is we're taking a multi-tiered approach. So you're right. We've got everything from airports, which are much higher volume, all the way down to just a little kiosk that's going to be at a convenience store or something like that. So we're really layering in who has the opportunity, what is the drinking occasion that someone may be having there, and how can we fulfill it the best way? So, if you've got something that's at a convenience store at a Walmart, we're probably not going to be selling a margaritas. But as we're going through, that's where we're layering things in. If we've got places that it's appropriate to put in a cooler that's got a curated selection of some beers and a couple wines. But then we're also targeting multiple units that do have the space already available to be able to retrofit and put in a full bar. But the real focus is on the future. And that is with putting bars in all of the future Dickeys that are going to be built. The expectation is we will do a full liquor beer wine license if possible. But then also we're developing a couple other concepts that will be going full bar from day one. So that's a pretty exciting part of what I've got going on as well.
So across all those different types of footprints and concepts, what are like your lead horses? Is it still going to be like your Bud Miller Coors, skew more beer than seltzer or wine or spirits? Or what are the lead guys that are going to play in almost every occasion?
Yeah, great question. So that comes into the tiered approach. So we know that the stores that are going to be the beer and wine stores, or the grab and goes as we're kind of calling them. So little sidebar, since so many of the rules changed in so many states that we can actually do takeout, so many more states are allowing you to come by and get a 6-pack that you can take home with you. So that does put us to where we've got package, whatever it is. So it is beer for sure in the package stores right now. We're going along and doing really, really well with the Mexican imports. So Modelo and Dos Equis are crushing it. Modelo especially, but then it's Bud Light, Coors Light, Miller Light, Ultra, and they're still regionally carrying the load for the volume there. So that's really it. But I can't discount the power of the legacy brands. So something like a Lone Star or a Shiner Bock for us specifically, being a Texas brand, those are actually doing really well as well.
Not hearing a lot about spirits or even RTDs in there. Is that part of the equation, or?
Okay, so yes. So the grab and go stores, we haven't done, we have not seen the success with the few tests I've had time to do with the RTDs, with something that's a canned margarita. So we've been doing the wine-based RTDs, not the spirit-based, for most of the takeout. And that's really because of license type. Because getting a beer and wine license is the hurdle is much lower to cross to get just that beer and wine license. So the wine-based RTDs are the things we've been playing with. Also wine in a can. We've been having some success with doing wine in a can with that as well. But so far in the grab and goes, it has been beer as the champion so far. And that's really, you kind of think about the drinking occasion. You're going for some barbecue, you're getting some brisket, you're getting some pulled pork. You're more thinking about, hey, I just want to have just some nice cold beer that just came out of a trough of ice, rather than going for a really complex IPA or a craft or something more along those lines.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, like I said at the beginning, so we've only got about 10% of the stores that are actually selling any kind of alcohol at all right now. In that, there are 11 stores total that I've got that do have full liquor licenses that are selling right now. And what the mixologist part of me, my pride's not really hurt, but I'm kind of surprised. Signature cocktails, people really don't care about the signature cocktails so much when you're going to a Dickey's to get a drink. It's more a place where you're going to walk in, hey, I want a Jack and Coke, I want a Tito's and soda, I want, it's what you want when you go in, and it's a place you're going to get your drink, just because of, again, the drinking occasion and what people want when they go in. So got some great cocktails that I put together. But really hey, yeah, they're delicious, I tell you. But really the spirits are being ruled by, it's the ones that are the major movers in the market. It's the Crown, it's the Jack, it's the Titos. We're selling a ton of margaritas, obviously. With doing shots, Fireball, we're doing pretty well with doing some Fireball shots as well, with the spirits. We've been dabbling some in the take-home cocktails, and I'm really at the beginning phases of trying that, so I can't really give you good numbers or say, wow, here's some great insights into what I'm seeing. But the little bit that I've seen is telling me, number one, people like the frozens to take them home, and number two, if they find a drink that they really like, they're going to find a way to take that home too. So we've got a really nice version of a lemon drop that we're doing. I call it the double lemon drop, featuring the Green Bar's True Lemon Vodka. Don't know if you've tried it. That stuff's amazing. But using that and lemon juice and Simone and cane syrup, and it comes out as an amazing drink. Well, it's a lemon drop, and so there's not a lot of volume, but I'm getting a lot of people that are loving it, and I've had people that are buying them and taking them home in the sealed containers. So that's awesome. One of the big successes I'm having.
So you put that like in a crowler or just like a to-go cup, or like
so
depends on the state?
So I'll tell you what I learned during COVID. There's this awesome daiquiri shop that's not too far away from my house. And so my wife and I would go over there when we needed some refills. And so it's the milk jugs. I learned about the milk jugs that you can really use. And so whether it's the little 16 ounce, the pint, the quart, the 2 quart, the gallon. I've been having a lot of success with the little 16 ouncers to be able to do it like that. And I think that the consumer now is trained that if they're going to get their drink to take it with them because they really like it, they're not as concerned about the fancy packaging or the logoed packaging or anything else. It's more about, I just want that. So it's been working.
All right. Interesting. One more quickie, and then I'll pass you off to Jordan. So Dickey's is limited service. Is it considered fast casual or?
Well, I learned a new term when I took the job and I was talking to a lot of people. It's the LSR, or the limited service restaurant.
Yeah. Okay.
So really it is quick serve, but our ticket average is just a little bit higher. So yeah, it's counter service. You go to the counter, you order your food, you walk through, and then you go sit down. When you sit at a bar, it's full bar service. But again, based on need, we'll have somebody cocktail if there are people that are drinking, but it is limited service.
So I asked because I think that this was one of the small contingents of the restaurant industry that actually grew through COVID. And that, people like Lester Jones at MBWA are saying like, well, that could be concerning because if more occasions are going here, that's like one drink versus, 2 or 3 at a casual or some other type of, restaurant. What are you guys seeing with people who are drinking? Are they just drinking 1, 2 more? And then of course, like you said, there's the takeaway occasion.
It's more they're having a beverage along with their meal, or they're coming in and just having 1 or 2 and then they're on their way. It's not that we haven't found with Dickey's yet. We have not found the way to make this the local hangout.
Right.
Ultimately, obviously, we want people to come there and spend as much time and as much money as possible.
Yeah.
But so far, it's really you're coming in specifically because they're craving some legit Texas barbecue, and so they're coming to Dickey's and they're having that, have a couple beers, have a couple margaritas, and then they'll go home.
Well, I was curious, when you're running down all the things that are doing well. You didn't mention seltzer at all. Have y'all tried that?
Topo Chico.
Okay, Topo Chico is doing well.
It's crushing it, yeah. You know, actually, the last time Jen and I we talked on the phone, I was telling her, it's like, oh yeah, I think I really cracked the code on what we're going to be doing for seltzer. You know, I was January of 2020. I was like, I am so ready for what's going to come here. Obviously, you know, the world changed. But with the trends that we're seeing, you know, as I'm reading the daily reports coming through, you know, seltzers started to have that little bit of a tail off. And the brands that are having that tail are the ones that were so far out in the lead, and they're the others guys that are catching up. Now, for my experience, what I'm seeing for my stores with sales, there are two things that are actually really selling well. Now, I will tell you that I'm very Texas centric with what we've got, so that has to weight this. But the Topo Chico hard seltzers are selling incredibly well. The Lone River Ranch Water is selling incredibly well. I've got 2 varieties of White Claw, and I've got 2 varieties of Truly that are also in the package, and they are not moving hardly at all. So it's really, I think I've got to take it back to that drinking occasion. And so that's one of the things that's really, really driving the decisions that I'm going to be making in the future about what I'm placing at Dickey's and in this limited service sort of an environment. You know, people aren't coming in to say, oh, wow, what kind of interesting cocktail am I going to have? You know, all the studies that people have about what are you going to drink tonight? You know, 42% people don't know when they hit the bar. They know what they're going to drink when they hit me. And so to circle it back around, seltzers, Topo Chico, the ranch water. Other than that, I don't really need anything else.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering, because you think about barbecue and seltzer, it doesn't seem like they they mix all that much. Like you were saying, people want a good cold beer out of a trough. Mm-hmm. So I was just wondering whether that is something that has hurt seltzer in the on premises, that it just doesn't really pair well with food mm-hmm. all that much.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised that the berry and the tropical segment of the seltzer world didn't do well. I really thought that Truly's lemonade lines might actually do something for me, because lemonade and barbecue go so well together.
Right.
But no, the Topo Chico completely wiped it out for my consumer.
Okay.
It seems like the Topo Chico is in line more with your brand, mm-hmm. Dickey's and the Texas here. And like you said, Lone Star and Shiner do really well. I could mm-hmm. totally see like a Topo and a Ranch Water doing well, because when you're in there, you don't think, oh, I'm gonna have a White Claw. It's just seems a little disassociative.
Right. Yeah. You think about the demographics for the White Claws. No laws when you're drinking claws and all that. But it's not necessarily what you're thinking when you're at a Dickey's.
I hit Dickey's almost every time I'm through DFW, and so when you talk about full bar service mm-hmm. at Dickey's, is that heavy airport?
Well, full bar service, yes. So the one you're talking about at DFW Terminal C, that's the one bar that I'm actually having the most success with, and being able to dabble with and play with some signature cocktails and getting a little bit of traction with changing out a few things there. But it's been interesting. The drinking habits of the consumer aren't that different from what they're doing there versus what they're doing at the other stores that have bars. It seems like they know what they want. If you sit at an airport bar, you're going to see the person who's going to walk in, hey, I need a shot of JMO, and I want a Maker's Rocks, or I need a double Tito soda with 2 limes. They know what they're going to drink, and that's still what we're having there. But yeah, the bars at the airports are doing pretty well. We're looking at doing more of those.
I was going to ask, what are the trends looking like at your airport locations, kind of compared from 2019 to 2020? Because it seems like, you would think less people are traveling, but then also they're not serving drinks on planes sometimes. So people are trying to get their drinks in before. So I'm wondering what you're seeing there.
So everything that you just kind of insinuated is all true. Whatever you're thinking, it's all true. So 2019, people are out there, they're doing business, they're traveling all the time, they're going along, the economy's great, boom, yeah. Sales were really good. During the COVID break, things were bad, really, really bad. Then they started allowing people to walk around more freely, having a cocktail, having cocktails to go. The airlines weren't serving them, but you could carry the drink all the way through the gate when you were boarding. That was pretty awesome. You know, sales were clicking along, but there still weren't that many travelers. Then this summer, as travel opened up, people were out doing things, volumes were clicking along and fantastic. But since mid-August, as travel numbers are receding, and I mean, there's some concern in the world about travel. There's some concern in the world about what you're doing to go someplace. So there aren't as many travelers. And now, I mean, I'm preparing for even more of an upheaval, because now we've got issues with how many pilots are actually going to be available to fly the planes. How many mechanics are going to be available to work on the planes? I mean, we've got some serious real world problems that are going to be impacting it beyond that. But the trends are, yeah, it's really following with what's happening, just with who's feeling like they can get on the plane.
And kind of a follow up to that, at airports and everywhere else, how price sensitive is the consumer right now, specifically when it comes to bev-alc at your stores?
Not as sensitive to so our price points are very value driven. I'm not overcharging. In my past life, we overcharged because we had a captured audience. In current life, we're value driven. Even at the airport, we're not charging as much as we possibly could. We want to make sure that people are coming through and they want to come back to us. That person who travels a lot, we want them to come back. So our price sensitivity hasn't been that much. On the food side, that's a whole other story. I mean, because we're so protein heavy, that's a big, long story. So there is some sticker shock as we're trying to manage margin on that side, but it hasn't been so bad on the beverage side.
Have you had any supply issues on the beverage side, or just, I mean, you said the protein, I assume that might have some supply issues, but beverages, what about?
So there's two answers to that. One is, right now with the volumes that we do out of our stores, it's not like it's not like it was in a past life where it was like 50% beverage sales and very high volume beverage sales. So if you were shorted one case of Crown this week, you know you're going to be short by Thursday. Right now, my volumes are much slower, and so as I'm able to work with the distributors, they're able to get me that extra case of beer, or they're able to get me that extra 2 liters of Crown that I might need to be able to get it through a week. But the struggles are very real in making sure. Luckily, I've got a lot more flexibility in my menu. So I'm able to just kind of roll with it and do something, and our customer base is a lot more flexible. So it's not like I've got the big, huge Crown and down nights that I don't have any Crown. So what are you going to do?
So then what's your biggest fear, right? If that's not your biggest fear.
my biggest fear is that we're not going to be able to be open to do stuff. And you know, that's really the concern. So right now I know that I'm going to be able to get beer, and like I was saying before, our consumers, like, it's the drinking occasion, and they're going to be happy to come in and just have a beer. So my programs aren't as stringent and as strict as what I've had in the past, but I think the entire world has to understand and accommodate that, because no one can be, like, I'm joking about a Crown and Down night, but there's a brand that I worked with, excuse me, as I'm having to move. My laptop.
Are you going to the restroom, Dan? You couldn't wait another 5 minutes to take a pee break?
No,
I mean, what's going on here?
My laptop was about to die. So
it's like, damn, we're really comfortable together.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know we were that comfortable.
We're friends. But yeah, the big concern is that we're just not going to be able to be there at all. And so, I know everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's suffering through it the same. And so for me, we're just going to keep smiling at people and making sure that they have a good time.
That's all you can do at this point,
Yeah, exactly.
Right, Spooky Bisky?
That's a big smile on Spooky.
That's right. That's right. So stupid. I'm sorry. We have to have these little gimmicks, Dan, in order to get people to watch the show.
Yeah,
It's
a good time.
it's like bringing people into Dickey's. You gotta have something besides just a bunch of meat and coleslaw.
Exactly.
You gotta make it special.
Yes.
And that brings me to my question about you come from Top Golf, which is what are the differences or surprises going from like a big venue type place, like you said, captive audience, to a more fragmented a restaurant concept?
Wow. Well, so I'll say it another way. Going from company that is 100% corporate owned, massive growth. Went from, I joined the company I joined Topgolf in 2012 with only 4 stores in the States. And so then at COVID, we had 55 open and operating in the States. So that was pretty massive growth for the size of those venues and everything that's there. The difference here at Dickey's is we've got 550 locations, and of that, there are only 10 company-owned stores. So much of what I'm doing in this preparation of developing a beverage program is that not only am I going through and scripting out, okay, here is the right lineup of my spirits, here's the right lineup of my beers, here are my mixers, here are my, the people I want to work with, all of the different things, how I'm going to position it. But now, because these are franchises, I've got to get out and I've got to work with the owners and say, hey, this is actually going to benefit you because of X, Y, and Z. So we've got all these existing stores that are out there, and they've got to understand that it's worth it to have that liability of carrying the extra insurance and going through and getting the extra licensing for just a beer and wine license or a full liquor beer wine license, to make sure that they want to be part of the future of what we're going to be doing with Dickey's. So if there's a big difference, it's the work I'm doing, not just in scripting out some tasty cocktails and making sure that I've got an ops manual that is built so they'll be profitable, working out supply chain and everything else with all the challenges. It's about making sure that now the people that are going to wear that logo of Dickey's Barbecue Pit, that they're going to sign on.
Yeah. God, you're making me hungry for barbecue.
Oh man, I had some.
You had some.
Yeah,
so good.
Had some earlier today.
Really,
it's pretty tasty.
It's such good stuff.
Hey, have you tried the wings there? Have you tried the wings, the pit smoked wings?
No.
Okay,
no.
next time you go to Dickey's, you got to get the pit smoked wings. So I'm going to do a shameless plug here. So we just opened a new concept. During COVID, we had 2 ghost concepts that we had going. One is called Wing Boss, doing very, very well. We've got well over 100 stores across the country that are doing that one. Another one called Big Deal Burger, same count, about 150 stores are doing those. We decided to do reverse, and so we actually just opened our first brick and mortar version of a Wing Boss here in Addison, here in Dallas. And about 2 weeks ago, had a ribbon cutting this morning with the Chamber of Commerce and the mayor and everybody. But I'll tell you what, the pit smoked wings, man, they're legit.
I'm gonna check it out. I love wings, and it's funny. I was talking to somebody this morning about where can we get wings that's not like a big chain around San Antonio and Austin. And Jen, for Austin, the thing I heard was Me Like Wings or something like that. It's a truck out on Congress. Anyway, check it out.
Okay.
Tommy Like Wingy.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it. Tommy Like Wingy.
Yeah.
Yes, it comes from the movie Tommy Boy, I think.
Yeah.
That's Tommy Like
Yes.
Wingy.
I think, yeah. I know that.
That's a trash name, man. You got to have really good wings if that's going to work for you.
Oh, that's a fantastic name. So, Dan, potato salad or coleslaw?
Potato salad.
Yeah. Depends on the potato
Totally
salad
agree. Totally agree.
Yeah. You can go either way. I mean, potato salad for me, it's got to have enough mustard in it. Otherwise, it's kind of just a little too sweet, and that's not good. But I think potato salad.
And why not have both? Why can't we have both? We ain't broke.
Either or, you got to pick one.
I don't know, man. I think you can get both.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Just
on that? I don't know.
Get the potato salad and then throw the slaw on the sandwich. And then you have
That's
both.
what I'm talking about, Jordan. See, I like the way you're thinking.
You're starting to show your chef chops there, man.
Yeah,
that's good.
So we got anything else for Dan, Jen? You got anything to cap off?
Not me. Thanks, Dan. I really appreciate it. And that's really interesting. And obviously, I'll be bothering you soon about what you're doing with the beverage programs for those new concepts. And
yeah, they're going to be a lot of fun.
Cool.
Hey,
I didn't realize Dickey's was that big. I mean,
yeah.
I knew it was a big chain, but it's bigger than I thought. 500 stores.
Yeah. So, so just a little bit more about Dickey. So over 550 physical locations. We've got the ghost concepts that are going along. We've got a couple that, like I said, Wing Boss and Big Deal Burger. We've been expanding into multiple different countries. We actually just opened Pakistan. We've got guys in Brazil that are opening right now. New Zealand. It's people like barbecue.
Wow.
Are you guys looking at any taco joints?
There is possibility that the Dickey's restaurant brands might be expanding into multiple other food groups. Yes.
Los Dickeys. You heard it here first.
Oh, you know what? You just named it. All right, Jen. You get the first taco.
Yes, perfect.
Los Dickeys or Dos Dickeys? How many Dickeys do you need?
That's mejor, Harry.
Oh, let's not confuse our listeners with multi-languages.
Yes.
Right, Bisky Bones. We need a better name for Bisky, for Spooky Bisky. Y'all think of that. Jordan and Jen, that's your project for this afternoon. Bisky Bones, Sporty Bisky. I don't know. We'll think of Mona Bones, Bona Bisky. All right, I'm stretching. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Dan, for being on. Really nice.
Great catching up with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, guys, it was great to talk to you. And I love the reports that I get to read from y'all every day, and keep up the good work and giving us the straight info that we need so that we can make informed decisions out there. Really appreciate it.
All right. I like that.
Yeah.
You bet. All right, guys. Well, thanks for drinking beer. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye.